A very beautiful evening to you all. Na choraharyam, na charajaharyam, na bhratrubhajyam, na cha bharakari. Vyayakrute vardhat eva nityam, vidyadhanam, sarvadhana pradhanam. Which means it cannot be stolen by thieves, nor can it be taken away by the kings. It cannot be divided among brothers. It does not have a weight, but if spent regularly, it always keeps growing. The wealth of knowledge is the most superior wealth of all. On behalf of Team Ellie, I, Mrs. Sapna Kolpe, take this opportunity to welcome you all to this webinar series, the third, Demonstrations by Designers, Day 12. And thank you for taking the time off to join us in these deliberations. I am rather fortunate and excited to be here and to have an opportunity to introduce our today's keynote speaker, who is from such a place which is known basically for education, or in Marathi, we call this place as Vidyece Maherghar. Yes, you're right. Our today's speaker, Dr. Sangeeta Godke Madam, who is from Pune, is very determined, captivating, versatile, and very focused personality. Dr. Sangeeta Madam, who is very down to earth by nature, is an associate professor and head of the Department of English at Baburauji Golab College, Sangvi, Pune. She holds her post-graduation English, qualified her SET exam from Pune University and MPhil from the Shivaji University, and obtained her PhD from the Pune University. Dr. Sangeeta Madam has 20 years of teaching experience, but her research experience is very huge. She has guided many MPhil and PhD students. She is a lady who loves to work dedicatedly. She has written, submitted, and presented number of papers at national and international conferences. She has written 3 reference books, and all books are approved by university publication grants. Dr. Sangeeta Madam has been a member of many academic committees. Most notably, she has been a member of academic bodies like MSCRT, Government of Maharashtra, Core Committee member of Bal Bharti Textbook Writing Bureau, Board of Studies member for English, SPPU at Pune, and at World Peace University, Pune. Currently, she is also a member of Peer Review Committee at Langlit International Conference and Journal at Sri Lanka. Dr. Sangeeta Madam has been a convener, chairperson, organizing secretary, and coordinator for many national, international, state, university, and district level seminars, workshops, and programs, who is an expert in the domains of translation studies, communication skills, and Dalit literature, and even e-content developer for SCRT, SPPU Pune, Bal Bharti. The feather in her cap is she has been awarded an international fellowship by University of Göttingen, Germany in 2015, which was 1 month fully funded scholarship, and another feather which is fellowship by Erasmus University, Netherlands. So let us all welcome our today's speaker, Dr. Sangeeta Godke Madam, who is a personality bundled with enormous talent and achievement, who has her interest in singing, reading, watching movies, and doing exercise. She is here to guide us today about one of the writing skills, that is statement of purpose. Thank you so much. Welcome, madam. Ellie's platform is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am, you
Yes. Okay. So, first of all, thank you for such an exclusive introduction. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to one and all. At the outset, let me thank English Language and Literature Explorers. This is an organization that works for the betterment of the topics related to English language and literature. I thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my views on the given subject. I would like to thank all study group members and Board of Studies members, Textbook Writing Bureau Bal Bharti, and also I would like to thank dear participant teachers. Especially I would like to thank Sapna Kolpe madam for such an exclusive introduction. Actually, introduction of the speaker is his or her speech itself. So thanks to all my friends. I have seen Rade sir, I have seen Praveen Mude sir, then Ishita was there, Shubhra was there, Suhasini was there. Thank you, all of you. I worked with them for a year, and the textbook is in your hand. The work is good or bad. Now it is up to you. You have to decide. I would like to share my screen. Should I share? Hello?
Please, ma'am.
Yeah. So the topic given to me is statement of purpose. What is it exactly? It is nothing but setting a career goal. So let us enter into the world of students, aspiring candidates and scholars who want and who wish to apply for some scholarships, some fellowships, and also to get admission in Western universities or well-known universities from India and from abroad as well. So the first slide, it is about personality. It's a very small view, so you get an idea exactly what is there in that slide. Let me make it very simple. What exactly personality is? Personality is your inherent things, inherent qualities that might have come from the genes of your ancestors that contributes and reflects in your personality, plus the things which you want to learn, you inculcate some things that also contribute to develop your personality, and you also inculcate something through your experiences that is known as have component of your personality. So be, do, and have, these are the three main things on which your personality depends. Now when you are going to apply in any foreign university, you are considered as an ambassador, cultural ambassador of your own country. So naturally, you have to be very responsible, and you have to build an image of your country. You are going there not as an individual, but you are going there as a representative of a particular country. If it is in India, then also you can go to some other state. There also you have to represent yourself, your regional culture. So what exactly personality is meant of? Your personal things, your behavior, your nature, your temperament. Second thing, the university or the institute where you want to apply is going to think about your financial condition also. The third very important thing is your career goals. That also is a concern of that particular institute or university. Then your social approach. What do you think of yourself? What is your role in the society? Are you adaptable? Do you have interpersonal and intrapersonal skills? All these things come under personality. Another very important thing is when you come from India, people are, in the West particularly, spiritual inclination of Indians. That is another aspect of your personality. Yoga and meditation and some other spiritual practices, they also, it should reflect in your personality. And your physical health plays an important role. If you are physically fit, healthy, then you will be an asset to the host university, the host country, the host institute. Last but not the least, your family background. That also matters a lot. What kind of background you have. If you are going to apply in one of the reputed universities like Stanford and Harvard, and your core subject is computer science, and if you have a family of computer engineers, software engineers, and hardware engineers, definitely it will add some points to your personality. Institute is going to think about it. So you have to be very careful while writing statement of purpose. It is your responsibility to display everything that is there in you as a personality. Now turning to the next slide. And what is it about? It is about application process. Is it related to statement of purpose? Yes, definitely it is related to, because you need to prepare yourself. When do you write your statement of purpose? When you want to apply. So that time you should have in mind what is an application process. The process is, first of all, you will write statement of purpose. There may have some word limit, there may have some questions also. You have to go through it, and then you will make your statement of purpose very precise. If the word limit is given, then you have to stick to it. Second, you need letters of recommendation. Most of the universities ask 2 or 3 recommendation letters. Who will recommend you? Your teachers will recommend you. If you have some job experience, your boss will recommend you. Plus some very renowned personalities of your society, for example, authors, doctors, and some such personalities, they also can recommend you. But very important thing is, it should not be very formal kind of thing. That person should know you in detail. Then only you can request that person to write a recommendation letter. What he is going to write in that recommendation letter? Your academic achievements, if you have some job experience, then your professional achievements, how you are as a person. These things he or she is supposed to write in that later. A letter should be of 1 page only. Whatever your assets are, that person should know about you. Suppose a female candidate is applying, then the one who is writing letter of recommendation will definitely mention in that she might have come from a patriarchal society. She has to struggle a lot to reach at this particular point. If there is some struggle in her life, then the person can mention it in recommendation letter. Now the third point is, are you going to go for educational loan? You have to think about that also. Where will you get educational loan? Before applying, you have to think about all these things. let us forget about it, because now we are concentrating on 12th syllabus. So it doesn't matter. But then also these students are now going to take admission in some of the universities or some affiliated colleges. That time, if they start thinking on this line, then I think after graduation they'll definitely be able to go somewhere. Now, visa application is another thing. I'm not going to discuss about it right now. Admission essay. Now, suppose you want to go abroad, then you need to write second essay, that is admission essay also. So very important is good communication skills are necessary, but at the same time, your writing skills are very important. And last is your curriculum vitae. So you will definitely, there is one, every time at FY level, there is one unit which is based on resume and curriculum vitae. The students, when they will come to senior college, they will learn it. Now, what is SOP? What I have decided, I got one book, which is from Northeastern University, Boston, from America, written by, the name is here, he is Jared Pierce. That book is my reference book. From that book, I have selected most of my data. So the definition, just two definitions are there. The first one is a statement of purpose, that is SOP, sometimes referred to as a personal statement, is a critical piece of a graduate school application that tells admissions committees who you are, what your academic and professional interests are, and how you will add value to the graduate program you are applying to. So very simple. What exactly he wants to say? Your personal, your something about your personal life, something about your graduation, something about your academic career, something about your professional interest that you are going to reflect. But how? Within 2 pages only. The limit is 1000 words most of the time. The second definition is also there, and it says that your statement of purpose is where you tell your story about who you are and why you deserve to be a part of that. The university community, it gives the admissions committee the chance to get to know you and understand you, how you add value to that post university. So now you must have understood how important document this is. SOP is a very important document. For 12 students, I don't think that they will be able to write it, but definitely they have to start from today. Then definitely after their graduation, they will be able to write within 2 pages. Now, the next slide, brainstorming. What I want to say is, brainstorming is, so again, the same author of that is Northeastern University, what he says, you have to ask some questions to yourself. And what are they? Why do I want this degree? What are my expectations for this degree, from this degree? What courses or program features excite me the most? Where do I want this degree to take me professionally and personally? So this is your before writing SOP study. So what kind of degree you really want and do you deserve that? Second is your expectations from that particular degree. Then features of that particular program and how will my unique professional and personal experiences add value to the program. So my personal and professional experiences, that should be an asset to that post university. You have to think about these points and then you can start thinking about SOP. Now, next slide. To begin with, here are 6 P's. The words that start from alphabet P. Which are those words? The first one is, if you concentrate on these words and if you prepare yourself, you will be definitely able to write a good SOP. First one is purpose. So purpose, what kind of purpose? Purpose is what are your goals and your interest. Sometimes it so happens that our students, their parents tell them what they should do in their life. This should not happen. If you look at the West, they make their children independent in such a way that children take decisions what they want to do, and accordingly they select their professional field. They select their career options, and then they become successful professionals in life. So parents should not intervene in this process. Let the child do whatever he wants to. The purpose is what goal I want to achieve and what are my interests. Your past experience, what kind of experience do you have? How much? How long you worked with some companies or some institutes or something like that? Do you have any research experience? Have you done some projects with your college, your university, or your office, or at your workplace? And have you given some presentations? Now, how are you going to prove all these things? These things which you are going to mention in your SOP, you must have evidences of all these. Suppose you say that I published 10 research articles in a reputed journal, they are going to ask you at the time of interview, show those articles. Then regarding projects also, if you have done some project with a company, you should get a letter of that project. So from 12th itself, be ready to make your file with very good, that file should contain good evidences. Those evidences will lead you towards your goal. Now program, cracks of SOP, that the program is, you must have decided a particular country, a particular university. Then why? There must have some reason behind it. Why this particular college? Your work and the program that you choose. Suppose now I am teacher of English language and literature, and immediately I decide to apply in gender studies. Then the experts may ask me, your experience is related to language and literature teaching, and you are applying in gender studies. How do you connect yourself to gender studies? Then I can explain that being woman, I have some experiences, and I don't think that you should have a degree of gender studies. Then only you will understand gender biases. But then also they will not accept it, because studying a particular thing is different thing and experiencing it is also different. So some textual evidences are needed. You have to keep this in mind. If you jump in some other, I applied in one very well-known fellowship. I tried once and there was no subject like language and literature. Then I got confused what to do. I want to apply because I prepared my synopsis and everything. Then I saw gender studies subject. I entered into it. I published 2-3 papers immediately in gender studies. But then these people, those were there in the interview panel, they said that, madam, you don't have sufficient publications in gender studies, and at the same time, you don't have degree. First, do diploma in gender studies or something, and then you can again appear. Your synopsis is good, your ideas are good, but you will have to wait a little longer. So this happens if you enter into a completely new field. Now regarding personality, just now we discussed about personality. What exactly connecting your personality to the personality of the college? Don't you think college also has a personality? Yes, definitely. Some colleges are very well known for a particular subject or particular faculty, particular stream. This college is very good for science faculty. If you want to go for science, go for this college. If you want to go for arts, go to Ferguson. If you want to go for arts or commerce college, there are very good. Garware College of Commerce is really good, and there are many colleges from Pune. They deal with that particular stream. So here, your personality and the personality of that college, you have to think about it. Then Symbiosis is also good option in Pune if you want to go for any branch. Then plain English. Now regarding English, communication skills, they are needed everywhere. English is an international language. You have no option but to be very well versed in a language. Now, what kind of process it is? The process is, it has beginning, that is before writing SOP, you have to do some kind of study. Then you will begin to write it. Then you will reach at the body. That body is the middle part of that SOP, and definitely the end is your conclusions. Now, editing part is very important. You have to proofread the document that you are writing. If somebody is an author and he or she says that I'm very good at writing, no, don't be overconfident, because this is a document where you are going to face a cutthroat competition. You think that you are good in writing skills, but when you will be a part of that race, you may not be good among other thousands. So you have to edit the text several times. It should not be more than 2 pages. And the last lesson, I have given the URL also, or the link also, from where I have taken this. Right process leads to right result. Start in a right direction. I think this presentation will be very useful to those parents who are there today, whose children are trying for master's degree in America. They might have cracked their GRE and GATE and such other examinations. They are supposed to write their SOP, and there are very good institutes in Pune. For example, Dilip Oak Academy and such other academies are there. They help you to write your SOP. But I think that instead of hiring some services, if you could train yourself, that would be better, because anyway interview, you are going to face the interview. Don't forget that. Now turning to the next slide. Differentiating resume, CV and SOP. What is the difference? Resume mostly used to apply. See, there is just a thin line, but we have to understand that. Students most of the time they get confused what resume, what CV and what SOP. There is just a little difference. Mostly used to apply for a job. Resume is written for job application. A typical resume contains a summary of relevant experience and education, and it is short and concise. What about CV then? CV is exclusive. You can have CV of 27 pages, 30 pages. I have gone through Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's CV. It is of 17 pages. But when my college provided me a particular format for CV, and they asked us to fill your information in that given format, it automatically, when I started entering my papers and all those I published in several journals, it became of 27 pages. And when I read Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's CV, it was just 17 pages, but the CV was of so high quality. Degrees and fellowships and awards, everything was there. Then I thought that what our academia is doing with us. our colleges are doing with us. They are asking us to fill our information in the given format, and they are unnecessarily increasing the pages. Actually, it is not necessary. You stand nowhere when you go through CV of great people. Your CV can be of one page only, but with highlight of your excellent achievements and awards. Now we are turning towards SOP. SOP is what actually, is it resume or CV? No, definitely not. But the points which you have already included in your resume and CV, that you are going to write in a paragraph. Again, you have to curtail lot many things, and you have to stick to the requirements of that particular university. Now here is a very nice diagram. Again, I have taken it, and the link is also there. So here you can see you have to be very particular about your stress. Are you stressed one? What are your basic things that are there with you, and such other. Let us not worry about it. Now next one. Now focus. One has to be focused, then only you can achieve your goal. And what kind of focus is needed? Your academic biography they are expecting, not your personal biography. Your academic biography is the highlights of your academic achievements. Then history and preparation. What history of that particular university, your own university, your own country, that country also, and then you are supposed to prepare yourself. Why are you interested in a particular program? You have to study that university through the website of that university. Let me tell you that when you apply in every foreign university, every teacher and every student has given mail ID from that the official domain of that university. In India, that practice is not there. So there is not a single university standing in the ranking of first 500 universities of the world. We have to change a lot. We have to change according to the time. Now, interest in program. If you are completely fit for that program, you have to think about it. Then transcript is, that is your SOP. Your major papers, your publications, your area of interest. Very important is your exam score. But if your SOP is very strong and your score is not that strong, then they will go for SOP and not for score. In Western countries, whatever cutthroat competition we are seeing regarding merit in India, that is not there. They go for grades, and my child's result is with me only. It is not at all displayed anywhere else in the university. So there is less burden on parents and less burden on children, and we have to learn that also. Score is what most of the time the things that you learn by heart, it is related to that. What about your aptitude? What about your personality? What about your thought process? It doesn't reflect in that score. So they don't give uh, too much importance to your score. Keep that in mind. But they're very much interested in your publications. Do write. Teachers as well as students, you have to publish something, and if it is in a good journal, in good book, then they will definitely take a notice of you. Don't forget that. So you have to start from now only, then only after graduation you may achieve whatever you want to. And resume and CV you are going to prepare, and your honors and awards. Now here is one quote, very important quote, and what that quote is saying: The quote is saying that incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over, instead of craving control over what you don't. So things which are not with you, don't worry about it. But you must have some good things. Just concentrate on that and try to focus those things. I think you must have got what I want to say. Now, key components of writing an SOP. And what are these components? Naturally, the first paragraph is an introduction, who you are, you belong to which family, and your family background, your financial status and all. That is just a small paragraph which is about your own biography. Then you will turn towards your interest, your motivations. Then summary of undergraduate and previous graduate career. Now, my teacher friends who have there in this webinar, they might have known about it, but let me make it clear that undergraduate is our BA in Western countries, and their graduation is our post graduation. When I say that I'm doing MA, they don't understand. What are you doing? We don't get it. When you say that I did my graduation, they say you already did your masters. Again, we have to clarify, masters is our post graduation and graduation is our BA degree. Their BA is our post graduation, dear friends. So you have to keep this in mind when you want to apply. So undergraduate and previous graduate career is your BA and MA I am talking about. Now, discussing of relevance of recent and current activities. Currently, what is that you are doing which you want to share? Something interesting in the field in which you are applying, and your elaboration of your academic interest. That is also important. Now, here is another slide. Candidates are commodities. What is commodities? Commodities, they are the product of the market. Universities have to think about it, that students are not students and children anymore. They are commodities of the market. Market is going to invest their money on them when they are competent enough. If you forget this, nowadays in universities, soft skills training is organized. Then lot many other things they have added in their regular course. University is thinking about all these things. Then CV, then CV plus what you are going to focus on, stories of your personal and career life. Why SOP actually? To invite academic proficiency. Why do they ask you to write statement of purpose? Because they want the right and deserving candidate get it with some kind of grants, fellowships and scholarships. They want academic proficiency, and that they get from the transcripts and your mark sheets. To know about the development of your aptitude. Now, very important thing is SWOT analysis is a very important thing nowadays. Wherever you go, they ask you to do your SWOT analysis. Even at senior level, we also do the same. We ask our students, tell your strengths, tell your weaknesses, your opportunities and your threats also. And to our surprise, students get confused. They don't understand what really are what are the strengths of my personality, what are my weaknesses. So you have to go through this kind of psychological test of your own personality. Then only you will be able to show your strengths in your SOP. You are not going to mention anything about your weakness, and you are not going to talk about your threats also, but opportunities and strengths, very important. And when you will face an interview, that time they are going to attack on your weaknesses and your threats. So you should be very familiar about it. To grade your application on the overall merit, they have some kind of merit list, and they will check overall merit of the students, and then they will select the one who deserves that fellowship. So SOP is a very important document for all the institutes. Now look at the image. It is about tightrope walk. What is tightrope walk actually? Why have I selected this image? Because writing an SOP is just like a tightrope walk. Every time you feel that something is missing, and again from the first time from the first point you start writing it again. So I'm calling it a tightrope walk. It goes on throughout your life. The statement that university asks for graduate, that is BA, for undergraduate, that is BA, graduate, that is MA, and doctoral programs. You write SOP for research and some kind of degrees. Now limitation. Usually it is 1000 words, means one full page. It is a very brief and precise document. Then their interest lies in research proposals. If you are writing research proposal, they will focus on the research topic, your aptitude and research, and the skills that are needed to do a quality research. Now here is another, there are 3 images and a very little content. Now look at this first one, writing a draft. Now your process has been started. You have started writing SOP. The first draft is just you telling yourself the story. What you are doing? You are telling your story to yourself. That is your first draft. Then what the yellow quotation, what it says, a day of bad writing is always better than a day of no writing. Look at this, very important. Suppose you write something bad, it's okay, but if you don't write anything in a day, you will never ever develop your writing skills. Every day, once you finish your writing, you become the reader of your own writing, and you think that when you start reading with the specs of a reader, your own text with the specs of a reader, you find many faults in that text. So writing is very important. Keep writing every day, whatever it may be. Maybe recipe, maybe film story, maybe blog, maybe rap song, anything else. Now edit and re-edit. The mantra of good SOP is write, write, and write. Now again, the text that is of 1000 words, it must have introduction, then body paragraph, and the end part is conclusion. Now turning towards the skill. You can make anything by writing. One famous author has said that you can make your living by writing, you can become famous by writing, and lot many things. So regarding beginning of your draft, how it should be, you can start with an anecdote or your personal experience. Suppose we want to say something about setting a goal, then you can start with the hare and the tortoise story. How the goal that was set by someone achieved by the tortoise. What were the qualities that tortoise had? Perseverance, strong willpower, and continuity. So in this way, with anecdote, you can start your personal experience. This happened with me in the past, and then I decided to enter in this field. In this way also you can start. Then middle, what are you going to write actually in the middle part? Academic achievements, the pursuit of your interest by discussing internships and projects that you have done. And the end part is your work experience in the industry or firm that has encouraged to apply for the said college. Suppose you have worked with the industry, with the firm, you have to end with that note. Future prospects. Now, what exactly your multidimensional personality is that you want to reflect? What co-curricular and extracurricular activities? Whatever extracurricular and co-curricular activities you have, or you are even doing today, you have to mention that. Interpersonal and intrapersonal skills, that is cooperative principle. Then your inclination in research, your national spirit, very important point. What do I mean by national spirit? Suppose you are applying in America, and when you go, even for visa also they ask, and if you go for interview, suppose your SOP got shortlisted, your application got shortlisted, the second stage is your interview. That interview again is in 2-3 stages. In the very first interview, they will ask you, what are you going to do after getting the degree? Suppose you got selected, and if you say that I want to pursue my career in America, they will definitely refuse you, because they don't want particularly Asians with brown face. I'm very serious while stating this, because of the extreme kind of religious things things going on around us. And again, this brown face stands for those terrorist activities. So nowadays they are very conscious about, particularly about Asians. They don't understand your religion and the nation you belong to. They just understand that they may become a threat to my own country. And if you say that I will go back to my country, I love my country, and I want to give something back to my country after getting this degree, they will be happy and they will definitely select you. Now, what is holistic approach? Holistic approach is you don't have racial biases, you don't have religious biases, you don't have caste biases, and you don't have even nation biases. If you are following secular kind of identity and you respect all races, creeds, and ethnicities of the world, they will definitely think about you. To prove an asset to the host university, in the end you have to prove that you will be an asset. Our university needs this person. That is very important. And to convince the host as the best resource, I am the best resource for you. Initially, Mr. Donald Trump, Honorable President of America, he decided to reject that N1 visa for the students. But now he has taken that ban again. He has removed that ban because he understands that talent resides in Asian countries. You can't make your country strong without these talented people. So parents, teachers, please keep in mind that your children are genius children on the earth. The talent that we have got, it is really genius kind of talent. We are so fast in thinking, we are fast in doing anything. So they need us. Keep this in mind. Make our children very strong. Ask them to have full faith in yourself. The world has to take notice of you if you have potential. Now, do's and don'ts. So here, be organized. Prefer typed SOP, don't send handwritten SOP. Be specific, use concrete examples, explain your strength, write your SOP by yourself, edit and re-edit. All these points I have already discussed. Don't be lengthy, avoid complex sentences and cliches, don't copy, don't be too personal, don't mention your hobbies and all. I like singing, music, dancing and all. They are not at all interested in that. What you are going to give back to their university, that is the only interest. No excuse for unsatisfactory performance. If your score is low, don't give explanation. Just keep that aside and avoid exaggeration. Now, tips to write appropriate SOP. So what you are going, initially we have to think about all these things actually. Put your face on the page, means not actually face, your personality on your written page. Don't panic, brainstorm. Don't get panic initially. You will definitely succeed. Get another perspective. Another means find out YouTube videos, then read some articles on SOP, what other people are saying about SOP, and then enter into this field. Let it flow and edit later. Whatever comes to your mind, write it down on the page and edit it later on. Keep your writing lively, just like somebody is speaking, not writing. The paper should be, the script should be like this. Make it clear that you have done your homework. It should not be a bad impression. When they will read it, they will understand that some other person has written it. That should not happen. Show your care for that particular degree. Answer every part of every question. Suppose some questions have been provided on their website. When they ask for applications, read those questions and answer those questions. Make sure your essay reflects your work and give yourself time. Don't make haste. So now here I think, do I have time? Should I read this one particular example?
Yes, madam, you can.
Yeah, here is just one example. The book that I referred in the last slide, you will get the reference of that book. From that standard book, I have selected this particular written SOP text. What the person is saying, and the analysis of that SOP is also given in that text. That also I have selected. I was born into a family of software professionals who have made a name for themselves as innovators and pioneers in the automation of the development process. Following their footsteps, I developed a penchant for electronics and computer science at an early age, and in due course, I too became a software engineer working on design and development of efficient solutions, which fascinates me immensely. I wish to enhance my skills in this field through a graduate program and later work at advanced positions in software industry. So here, from where he has come, he has mentioned his family background, and he has mentioned that there are many computer engineers in electronic and computer engineers in my family. And here he is mentioning that I also developed an interest when because I belong to this family. The second paragraph is, after the third year of my undergraduate study, again BA in electronics and telecommunication engineering, I took up an internship with Credit Suisse and worked on building software to automate manual email chaining process. So this is related to something, email chaining process or something. It was the easiest one. There were 10 examples, but I thought that this one would teachers of English language and literature would understand, so I decided to go with this. Most of the time, if you can just go through university websites, you will find that vice chancellors and many administrative and academic highly influential posts are achieved by science people. I am making this statement by understanding my responsibility. There are just a few people who have achieved a great success by achieving a post like vice chancellor and all. See why this is happening, because for science people, there are many reputed journals, they have their citation index, they have their papers published in very well-known journals with impact factor and all, and science teachers have patents also. Do we have patents? No. What we do, we write books, and books don't have patents. What is there for books? Copyrights. So copyright and patent, there is a lot of difference. And because their CV is very bulky with achievements, they get selected for high or top official post. All scientists, they are ruling the world, and we have to keep this in mind. All fellowships and scholarships, they are more in number for science teachers. Now sometimes I feel that I'm an outcast in this very in this world of academicians. I want to do a lot, but do I have such kind of platforms? Forget about it. Now turning to, so electronic, and what he has done, especially while doing his graduation, he has learned manual email chaining process system. So that he mentioned in the second one. The third one, then he again software developer at Credit Crop. This is the company where he has worked, and he has developed these things, technologies such as Java, G2EE, C+, Net Framework, RESTful web services, HTML, these things. So this is again related to, look at his experience. People have to take, but the experts have first, and then we are supposed to write our SOP. Now here again some important things. What he is saying, presently I work in a front office application used for critical financial trades. So again, rightly, at present what he is doing, he has mentioned, and what he learned there, that also he has mentioned. During my undergraduate studies, second point, at the College of Technology, Mumbai, COTM, I enjoyed studying computer programming, data structures and algorithms, computer organization, and so many things are there. Look at his experience. Last is, at the COTM robotics lab, I worked on building an autonomous line follower robot, which helped me discover and demonstrate my embedded programming skills. So he has developed one robot, and that also is an asset for that particular institution. If you produce something new, that is, then you are going to claim for a patent. Now here, the last part of his SOP, I have won the prestigious now awards. IET India Scholarship Award in 2013, awarded by so and so northern region. The winners were evaluated across various parameters, including their ability to provide engineering solutions and all. So his award is also, and this is one of the prestigious awards. I have ensured a healthy balance in my academics, work, and other interests. So this balance is also required. Your academics, your work, and your other interest. You have also found, so you are sparing some time for your hobbies also. Have hobbies as well, that you have to mention. The last is, with the excellent research facilities. Now his research part, what kind of research he has done. Fundamentals of algorithms with applications, data structures with applications, and introduction to optimization modeling, which I am eager to study, what I want to pursue in America or in any other part of the world. So this is what is his SOP. Now look at the analysis of that SOP by the experts. Under A, the applicant makes a convincing statement about how the development of her interest, she is a female. Her interest in future studies are vital to her for achieving her long-term goals. Second, under B, she discusses an internship which she did during her graduate year, which led to her placement. And under C and D, she discusses her experience has helped to enhance her skills and aptitude for further further development of her career. Under E, F, and G, she discusses her undergraduate studies that support her present career and would assist her in the future too. Under H, she discusses how her other involvements make her better person. Under I, she argues why she finds the University of Eastwood, Columbia as her best option by referring to the program, the professors, and the courses she would like to study. This clearly shows that she is seriously considering joining the university if admitted. Overall, the SOP is concise, precise, and wastes no words to communicate with the admissions committees. It will also will him, if the other things being suitable, is likely to consider her for admission. So this is what is the analysis. What they are searching for, you must have noticed it. And this here is the reference. This particular book I have referred throughout my PPT, and these two internet sources also. And here is the last word, that is thank you. The last slide is thank you and bye-bye. Youth is saying bye to you all, and what youth is also saying, stay home and stay safe. Here are some smileys of coronavirus COVID-19. So thank you, friends. Thank you very much. And I end my presentation.
Excellent work, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I request one of the co-hosts to put in the Facebook coverage or the Facebook comments and queries. I'm handling the Zoom Meet queries. Before we start with the queries, madam, I would like to let you know that one Reshma Khandeshi madam has sent hi to you, and she is saying that she has worked with you at Junnar College for 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Reshma. We would, yeah, definitely we will keep in touch. Thank you, Reshma.
Yeah.
The sound W and S are muted. Second, climates. The third,
Yes.
Sachin sir, by the time you just move on another query.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, as on now, I don't have, madam. There are only excellent is the common word, and the message box chat box has flooded with nice presentation, excellent presentation. Thanks, madam. Very nice, madam. No questions, madam. See, no, I'm not exaggerating. This is the real status of the chat box today. I see someone has raised his or her hand. Let me, yeah, Sadanand Adole, you are allowed to unmute, sir. Sadanand Adole.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
There are some replies, or rather the responses from Facebook.
Please go ahead.
Mohan Kare sir, who is constantly pursuing us, has stated that starting with an anecdote is a nice way to begin. And Somnath Bore sir also commented a nice explanation and nice session. Ma'am, he congratulated you.
Hello.
Many other followers who have been following us. Thank you,
Hello.
Sachin sir. Go ahead now.
Shetty sir wants to say,
Hello.
sir or madam, I don't know.
Yes, Sadanand Adole, he is unmute. He is on unmute. Please put your query.
Yes, sir. Madam have taught us now. It's very comprehensive. I'm very thankful to ma'am, but I'm requesting you, ma'am, just conduct such type of program for English language.
Yeah, why not? Sure. You just tell me what exactly you want us to talk about. Accordingly, we will prepare ourselves, and I can join you all with
Yes, ma'am.
my own study.
English language and some barriers about many people can read English, can understand English, but they can't speak English, ma'am. So
Yeah.
This is a kind request to the participant teachers to ask relevant queries.
See, regarding spoken English, I think exposure is lacking. In case of Maharashtra particularly, if you go to Tamil Nadu, everybody can speak in English. If you go to Kerala, people speak in English. If you go to even Karnataka, people speak in English. Your Marathi is your barrier. You take help of your mother tongue and then you don't open your mouth in English. So first of all, we have to change ourselves. We have to give exposure to our students and to ourselves also. Then only we will be able to speak in English.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
There is a question from Mahendra Badguzar, sir. He says, in how many words students have to write SOP in the board exam?
See, if you are applying for a particular university mentions it on their website. There will be an advertisement of a particular program. There they will mention sometimes some squares are provided. In that square, you are supposed to answer that particular question. So word limit is always there in a bracket. For SOPs, most of the time it is 1000 words. That is one full page.
Thank you, madam. There are other questions. We have told all the respected participant teachers not to ask questions regarding evaluation pattern. It is yet to come. So don't ask those questions, connected with evaluation of the SOPs or any topic in that matter. Sunil sir, is there any other query from the Facebook?
No, sir, I couldn't find any.
Yes,
this is surprising.
No,
this is surprising.
The way you conducted, the way you spoke.
It's also excellent one that you almost with the flow of your speech, you just solved all the queries.
Okay, thank you.
I can count at least 100 messages in the chat box right now, and those are all thanking. Even I type in the box that don't thank madam right now at this time, but still those messages are coming. So credit goes to you, and to express it in Team Ellie's word, I request Sapna madam to continue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I, Sapna Korpe, take this privilege to propose vote of thanks on this momentous occasion. I express my heartfelt gratitude to the expert speaker for today's webinar, Dr. Sangeeta Ghodke, madam. Thank you very much, ma'am, for such an informative session on statement of purpose. The tips to write appropriate SOP are truly noteworthy. You guide us on this technical topic in a very simple, beautiful, impressive, informative, motivational, and amazing way. I must definitely take a moment and appreciate and thank you, ma'am, for embracing us with this remarkable session. I'm grateful to our mentors, Shri Anil Bagde sir and Shri Avinash Rade sir for their support. I especially thank the organizing committee for their magnificent efforts to make this program a true success. A special thank you to our expert speakers for gracing this webinar with their virtual presence. We had with us Dr. Shubhra Roy madam, Dr. Suhasini Jadhav madam, Dr. Gajanan Malokar sir, Dr. Deepak Damodare sir, Dr. Lagbir Kaur Verma ma'am, Mr. Praveen Mule sir, Mrs. Raseshwari Chonkar ma'am, and Mr. Nadim Khan sir. Thank you so much, dear teachers, for gracing this occasion and making it a truly memorable one. And last but not least, all our dear teachers and viewers, thank you for gracing this session on Zoom and Facebook. Now it's time to exit. Thank you. Over to our President, Shri Sunil Patil sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sapna ma'am. Yes, it was really an educative webinar session that will certainly help us to facilitate SOP to our students. Now I'm inviting you to attend another instructive and very creative session, which will be conducted by respected Mr. Gajanan Malokar sir. And the topic of the webinar is the fourth poem of the textbook, Have You Earned Your Tomorrow? So from our side, see you tomorrow at the same.
Thank you all participants, teachers, friends, and students. Thank you very much.